Hello everyone, welcome to another video. Until further notice, I'll be speaking in English because clearly German is a bit of a difficult language. So even though I'm learning, my videos are gonna be in English. So take it as an opportunity to practice your English and still you can learn a lot. So in this video, we're gonna focus on a very beautiful asana, one of my favorite asanas if I have to be honest, which is Trikonasana. And this asana, I practice it a lot with my teacher back in India. So we're gonna go through some of the common mistakes in Trikonasana, and I will show you different asanas that will also give you some idea of the principles of Trikonasana. So let's go ahead and start. So the first asana is gonna be Parigasana, and in Parigasana sometimes we have pressure in our knees. So if that's the case for you, we're gonna roll the mat as much as you need. Maybe you even need to use another mat if it's possible, or you can even use a pillow. Yeah, you can use a pillow for your knee. So in Parigasana, the knee that is gonna be the base of Parigasana is gonna be the knee in line with the hip, and then the knee is gonna be in line with the other foot. It's very important. You don't wanna have this foot that is in a 90 degrees angle, the leg. You don't wanna have it back. You don't wanna have it too forward. You wanna have it just in line with the knee, which is the same case in Trikonasana. In Trikonasana, the front foot is in line with the back foot arch. So it's very similar here. The heel is gonna be in line with the knee, okay? And then this hip is gonna be in line with the knee. We don't wanna go too much here, and maybe it is possible to go a little bit in this direction. This is actually fine. It's fine if you go a little bit into the same direction, okay? Now, keeping this nice frame in Parigasana, we will understand what is that happens with the front hip in Trikonasana. Because when we go into Trikonasana, when we go into the pose, the hip is gonna move inwards in many of the cases. So we're thinking that I'm doing such a nice Trikonasana, but all my hip is actually pushing back. I will show you from the back, yeah? So you can see it here. So sorry that I'm giving you the back, but here you can see, and sorry that I'm moving my hands so much, but here in the tropics, it is full of ants and full of bugs. So here you can see, I'm again in this frame. And what happens in Trikonasana a lot with this hip is that it opens to the side. You see, it's opening to the side a lot. So you want to avoid that. You want to keep a line in between knee, hips, and then like that, without pushing the hip back, you're going to take the elbow to the knee. So that's what we're gonna do. I'm gonna give you my front again. So instead of letting this hip to be pushed back, we're gonna try to keep it forward. Yeah, so let's try to keep the front hip forward. And then we're gonna take the elbow to the knee, nicely opening the chest to the side. And here, a really nice adjustment is that you're gonna press this knee back, and then this front of the hip that is called the groin. I'll try to investigate the word in German, and I'll put it in the subtitles here. So the groin, the front of the hip, wants to push forward. So the knee is pushing back, the groin is pushing forward. And then we can nicely twist the chest. We can nicely open the chest also, and we can stay here for 5. So let's stay together. We stay 1, we can look up, we stay 2, we stay 3, we stay 4, and 5. Really nice. So that's the base of Parigasana. And now we're gonna try to straighten the leg, which is the same leg of Trikonasana, yeah? So this is the same leg in Trikonasana. Again, we want to keep a line in between the foot and the knee. And here, we're gonna straighten the arms to the side. Again, we don't want this hip to be pushed back. We want to keep the groin to be pushed forward. Straighten the arms, and then slowly we're gonna go just walk with the fingertips towards my foot, and don't walk too much. Yeah, just try to mind what is happening to this hip. So you want to push it back. You want to really keep it forward. And then both arms straighten, and we stay here 5. We stay 1, we stay 2, we stay 3, we stay 4, and 5. Inhale, come up, and we can do the other side. Okay, so now we can just unroll the mat, and then we can roll the other side, or maybe you can just turn around and move the computer or the phone, whatever you're using to watch this video. Now we're gonna place the knee again in Parigasana. We're gonna do half Parigasana first. Let's make sure that the knee is in line with the hip, and the foot, this is very important. The heel is in line with the knee as well. So there is a 90 degrees angle in this leg that we have now on the right side. So now we're gonna take the hands to the side, and very slowly we're gonna start taking the elbow on the knee, and we're gonna stay here. And now here we're gonna push the knee back, and the groin is gonna come forward. So the knee is going back, the groin is going forward, which is the opposite that is also happening in Trikonasana. In Trikonasana, the knee is going forward and the hip is going back. So that's exactly what we want to learn here in Parigasana. The knee is going back, the hip is coming forward, the groin, and there is a nice extension from the groin towards the knee, and we stay here 5. We can straighten the arm. We stay 2, 3, 4, and 5. Inhale, come up. And now we're gonna do Parigasana, full extended our leg. So we're gonna fully extend the leg. We're gonna straighten the arms. Again, let's try to keep the hips square, so the hip is not pushing back. Very important, the hips are not pushing back, and the pelvis is neutrally rotated. Yeah? So we're gonna straighten the arms, and in the exhalation, we're gonna start pressing the fingertips on our legs, and we're gonna start walking the hand towards the foot. And then we can look to the other hand. And we stay here 5. We stay 1. We stay 2. We stay 3. We stay 4. And 5. Inhale, come up, and we can release the asana. So this is a really, really beautiful asana also. Parigasana is really good also for opening the hips. Generally, we think that opening the hips is to open the hips to the sides. No, we want to open the hips, and maybe we do a lot of this, which is pretty good. I'm not saying it's not good, but Parigasana opens the hips in a really interesting direction, because it's opening the hips, pushing the pelvis forward, and expanding to the sides. So Parigasana is also a really good hip opener. Now for the next asana, we're gonna use a block. So hopefully you have a block at home. Otherwise, I will still give you an option that doesn't require a block. Yeah? So now we're gonna fully open the legs. Fully open the legs. So the actual measurement of how much you wanna open the legs is when you straighten the arms, and the wrist is in line with the ankles, with the feet. So hopefully they are in the same line, both of them. So this is a really nice way to open the legs. And now this foot is gonna open to the front, so we want to fully open that front foot to the front. like we were going to do Trikonasana. So if you're going to do Trikonasana, let's make sure that the front heel is in line with the back arch. Yeah, that's how we do Trikonasana, at least for now. There are some variations in the relation of the position of the feet, but the general healthy way of doing Trikonasana is to keep aligning between the arch and the front foot. Okay, that's gonna keep also the hips in line, which is that we were learning in Padikasana. Okay, so now keeping this front leg externally rotated, the foot is facing forward, and the back foot is also pretty active. So you wanna fully open your feet, you wanna press the feet on the mat, and in this case, for now, you wanna lift the toes up as well. Yeah, so it's a really strong, nice foundation. Then we're gonna straighten the arms to the side. This is the same that we do when we do to Trikonasana, when we go to Trikonasana. But now we're gonna start bending the front knee, which in this case is the right knee. So we bend it, and then we can place either the elbow on the knee if you don't have a block. Otherwise, you can take your hand on the block. And the idea here is not to go, it's good to go down, but we don't really want to go into the final asana. What we want to work here is the same that we were working in Padikasana. So in Padikasana, we were taking this knee back and this front growing forward. So knee back, front growing forward, and we stay here 5. Sorry for the bright, but it's pretty sunny on the back. So hopefully you can still see me. But sometimes the sun is coming, and we stay 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Slowly straighten the knee, straighten the arms, and we can do the other side. Yeah. So just switch the position of the legs. Move the block to the other side. Again, very important. It's very important to go slow when you are preparing for the asana. It's very important to go slow when you are going into the asana, and especially when you are in the asana. Later on, you can move faster. It's okay to move faster. It's okay to go in a flow. But first, you need to really be connected with your body. So that's why it's really important in the beginning to be very mindful about what you're doing. So the practice is truly beneficial. So we're gonna keep in line the front heel with the back arch. Very simple, yeah? And then the hips are gonna be nicely open to the side, straighten the arms, and then we're gonna start bending the knee. Slowly we take the elbow to the knee, and we're gonna take the knee back and the groin forward. Yeah? Knee back and groin forward. Knee back, groin forward. And we stay here 5. We stay 1, we stay 2, we stay 3, we stay 4, and 5. Inhale, come up, straighten the leg. Now you can close the front foot, and then you can walk back to a standing asana. Thank you for being here with me. So for the next asana, we're gonna do Trikonasana with the block, and we will try to incorporate that movement of the front leg. Yeah, so most of the video, what we have been focusing on is the front leg of Trikonasana, and the actual error that we're trying to address in the video is that we push the hip back, so we collapse in our hips, and that's not very functional in the asana. You don't get so much benefit from this. So we're gonna do Trikonasana, trying to keep that principle of pushing this front hip forward. Yeah, so we're gonna keep aligning between the arch and the front heel. Then the block is gonna be outside of my right foot. We're gonna do right side, or outside the foot that you're doing now. Yeah, now we're gonna straighten the arms, and here the front leg wants to be fully extended, fully extended. So you're gonna keep the leg really extended, and we're gonna start going, and try to notice what happened to that front hip. Is it pushing back? What is happening? Yeah, so try to keep it pushing this front, going forward. Maybe you stay here. You don't really have to go so much down. We're not going to the final pose. We're just trying to understand the front hip. And maybe you take the hand on the block, twisting the torso like we did in Parigasana, and then we straighten the arm up and we stay here 5. We stay 1, we stay 2, we stay 3, we stay 4, and 5. Inhale, come up, keeping the legs pretty firm. And now we do the other side. So we can move, we can switch the position of the legs. We can switch the block. Now we're gonna keep a line again in between the front heel and the back arch. I always check. I've been practicing for some years, and still always when I do Trikonasana, I make sure that there is a line in between my heel and the back arch, and try to understand why, yeah, in relation also to the hips. So again, we're gonna straighten the arms to the side, nicely open the chest, looking eye level, and in the exhalation, keeping the legs straight. We're gonna walk maybe to above the knee, or maybe we take the hand on the block and try to mind that front hip. Is it pushing back? What is happening to my front hip? You can also share with us. You can send videos of how you did it. You can send a picture. I would really appreciate that, because then I can give you more advices. I can give you more so that you get a lot from the practice. Yeah. So that's something that I do with my students. I get a lot of feedback from them. I get pictures, I get videos, and then I tell them like, oh, I think you should do a little bit more of this, a little bit more of that. So it becomes very nice functional practice. And here we stay 5. So we stay 1, we stay 2, we stay 3, we stay 4, and 5. Inhale, come up. We're gonna close that front leg, and slowly we walk back to a standing asana. So that's a little bit of the practice today. So it's a really nice advice that you can use not only for Trikonasana, but you can use for many of the standing asanas that has the same aperture in the feet. Yeah. So we were checking. Also, we mentioned the importance of the pressure of the hands. I know it's the same with the pressure of the feet. The feet, they have to be fully open. So mind your feet. Think about your hands and your feet when you practice, because that's where yoga actually starts from. It starts from the hands and from the feet. So try to keep a really good mindful pressure of the foot, and then the knee was going back, the hip was going forward. This is also really good for the lumbar, for the hip. So this is a little practice that you can do when you have time. So I really hope you learned something. Thank you for watching. Thank you for being with us. See you very soon, and have a nice day. Namaste.